Peace be unto you, everybody. Before I deliver this message, I would like to give praise to God for the many blessings He has bestowed upon me, despite the terrible blunders or mistakes that I made in the past. Everything that I accomplish, I give total credit to the divine being for giving me the abilities and the strength and the power to be great. Now, what I want to talk about today is the divine law of Islam. The divine law of Islam is God's system of universal order for His creation. Islam is much more than just a religion. Islam is the prevailing law in the universe. A lot of people think that Islam began with Prophet Muhammad. But what they don't know is that Islam is more ancient than the sun, moon, and stars. Islam, translated as peace, derives from the verbal noun aslama, which means to surrender to divine law and principles. The Quran teaches us that every prophet that God sent on this earth practiced peace and taught peace and submission to the will of God. Every prophet taught the people to submit or surrender to the principles of God. Now, what are these principles? These principles are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Every prophet taught the value of living right. So, Islam is not just a religion, it is an ancient science of spiritual cultivation. Islam is the one law. It's the law of peace, the law of order, and the law of submission. And it's the only law that prevails in the entire universe. I have a teacher who taught us to always respect the law of God. He was a man that taught us also to respect the laws of man. The first law of the universe is motion. Everything that is living is moving. We live in a universe where everything is in motion. Nothing is really standing still. So motion is the first law of the universe. Everything evolves. Everything develops. To make motion means to make progress. So if you're not making motion, this simply means that you're not making progress. So guess what? You're living on a dead level because you're stagnant. You're not evolving. You're not developing. In fact, you are underdeveloped. So the goal of human life is to evolve into the image of God. The goal of human life is to rise above this material world. That's what it means to make motion. When you go to work every day, when you go to school every day, when you read a book that will give you knowledge to improve the quality of your life, then you're making motion. And when you have motion, you need order to protect your motion or progress in life. So the second law of the universe is order. This very order is Islam. Islam, which is a divine law. Disorder is the very opposite of order. Order requires obedience to law, rules, and regulations. Once you have motion and no order, then the motion starts tearing itself apart. Without order, you bring your motion to a stop. Disorder produces the death of a society, the death of a nation, the death of civilization, and it produces your and my death if our life is not ordered. We must live by the divine principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. When God created life, He gave motion to everything living, including the planets. The planets is making motion. Now, this God would be an unwise God to create the motion, which is a law, and not protect that motion by bringing in a law that gives order to that motion. Now, that's a wise God, because He knew that He would have to create the law of order in order to protect our motion. So our motion is protected when we live in a good life. Our motion is protected when we doing the right thing. In everything that exists, we find the law working. And in everything that exists, you find that this law